People like you can't work in this company." The manager's voice rose thick in the air. "Ma'am, with all due respect, I have all qualifications to work in this company." Maya, the new black employee, replied. Heather, the manager, with deliberate slowness, took the water pitcher and poured it directly over the new hire's head. Cold water cascaded down her face, soaking her hair, her clothes, pooling at her feet. The office fell silent. "Looks like you needed to cool off," Heather said with a smirk, walking away. Water dripping from her chin, Maya walked with dignity to the bathroom. Only when the door closed behind her did she allow herself to breathe deeply, looking at her soaked reflection in the mirror. She pulled out her phone and called her father. "Dad," she said quietly, water still dripping onto the phone screen. "It's worse than you imagined. Much worse." But little did she know this was just the beginning. She was fired for a theft she knew nothing about and escorted out. The next day, she returned as their new CEO. Robert Johnson sat alone in his penthouse office, the city lights twinkling below. He reviewed the 6th anonymous complaint this quarter. The numbers looked good on paper, but the truth was hiding beneath the surface. 6 employees had quit in just 3 months. The elevator doors opened, and in walked Maya Johnson, his brilliant daughter, designer luggage in hand, confidence in her stride, Harvard Business School credentials that made any father proud. After conquering startups in London, she was finally home to claim her birthright. "Welcome home, sweetheart," Robert said, embracing his daughter. Harvard Business School, successful ventures in London, she was ready. But Robert's expression shifted as he released her from the hug. "Something's wrong at our flagship branch," Robert said, voice heavy. "The numbers look impressive, but we've lost 6 employees. These complaint emails suggest a pattern." He slid the tablet across his desk. Maya's eyes widened as she read the messages. Stories of harassment, discrimination, and hostile work environments. "Before I announce you as CEO," Robert continued, "I need you to see what's really happening on the ground floor. I need you to go undercover." Maya's excitement deflated. "Dad, I'm qualified to lead now. I've spent years preparing. Why delay the announcement?" Robert turned to the windows. "Because this company needs fixing from the inside out. Numbers and reports won't show us the truth. Someone needs to experience it firsthand. 1 month, Maya, go in as a new hire. Then you'll know exactly what needs to change when you take over." Maya reluctantly nodded. The transformation began immediately. Maya's designer wardrobe was replaced with modest business attire. Her resume was crafted to show qualifications without raising suspicion. Now she was Maya Davis, a marketing specialist with solid but not extraordinary credentials. Robert called Sarah, his most trusted HR executive. "The position needs to be filled by Maya Davis, no questions asked. Complete confidentiality." On her first day, Maya walked through the headquarters, pride and apprehension mixing. Normally, she was treated like royalty, but today the security guard barely glanced at her temporary ID badge. The marketing department occupied the entire 14th floor. Maya stepped off the elevator, dressed in a simple blazer and black pants. The receptionist pointed her toward the department manager's office. Derek Wilson sat behind an oak desk, scrolling through his phone. Maya had seen him before at company events. Now she stood in his doorway waiting to be acknowledged. When he finally looked up, his expression shifted to disgust. "So this is what HR sends me?" He sneered. Maya introduced herself. Derek ignored her outstretched hand, picking up her resume with 2 fingers as if it were contaminated. "Sarah from HR called about you. Said I had to take you." He led her through the open plan office, past sleek workstations and empty new desks, to a cramped corner by the restrooms. A dusty desk with an outdated computer monitor awaited her. "This is your desk," Derek said flatly. "Heather will be your supervisor." Maya noticed several curious glances from nearby employees. Some sympathetic, others amused. Heather appeared moments later, blonde, impeccably dressed, smile not reaching her eyes. "So you're the new diversity hire," she said. "Let's see how long you last." Maya's drawer contained broken pens and outdated manuals. Her computer took nearly 10 minutes to boot up. Meanwhile, across the room, 2 young white employees received gift baskets and brand new laptops. The orientation began with Derek enthusiastically introducing Brad and Jennifer. When he got to Maya, he vaguely gestured. "And that's Maya." She'll be helping out. During introductions, Maya began describing her marketing experience. Derek cut her off sharply. We don't need your kind of input right now. Brad and Jennifer were invited to join a client pitch. Maya was tasked with organizing the supply closet. Later, Heather gave Maya a post-it note with an absurdly specific coffee order. Maya prepared it perfectly, measuring temperature and stir rotations. Heather took a sip, grimaced, and suddenly stood up, spilling the full cup onto Maya's shirt. The hot liquid burned her skin. You should be more careful, Heather said as nearby desks laughed. Derek walked by with a smirk. Clean yourself up. And the floor, too. Maya pressed paper towels to her reddened skin in the bathroom. That morning, Derek dismissed her suggestions during a campaign meeting. Later, she was directed to alphabetize towering stacks of papers. At lunch, Heather accidentally spilled hot soup on Maya. In the supply closet, Maya met James, a graphic designer. They're trying to break you, he whispered. 3 black employees started in the last few months. All quit. Derek and Heather turned breaking minorities into a sport. Why doesn't anyone say anything? Maya asked. James sighed. Speaking up means becoming the next target. I've got kids to feed. During a client presentation rehearsal, Derek continuously interrupted Maya. Can you speak more professional? Less urban? Maya had graduated summa cum laude from Harvard, presented to boards and investors. Being told her precise speaking style was too urban made her blood boil, but she maintained composure. Heather then gave Maya an impossible task. Create a comprehensive marketing analysis with inadequate data and a 2-hour deadline. Maya produced a thorough report anyway, but Heather loudly declared it garbage. Maya calmly defended her work, pointing out the sound methodology. The office went silent. Heather's face flushed with anger. Derek appeared and, without warning, slapped Maya across the face. Shocked, she stood still, committing every witness's face to memory. Later, Derek hissed at her by the water cooler. Your job is whatever I say it is. Understand where you stand in this company. Despite harassment, Maya arrived each morning on time, impeccably prepared, still showing her skills. Derek and Heather met privately in the break room, unaware Sophia Ramirez, a junior copywriter, overheard them. Derek fumed. She's not breaking. The slap, the water incident, she keeps coming back. Heather suggested backing off, but Derek wanted her gone immediately. Equipment theft. Immediate grounds for termination. No questions asked. Sophia quietly recorded their conversation, capturing Derek's plan in detail, which devices he'd plant, when he'd discover them, which security guards he'd call. Everyone knows those people are more likely to steal anyway, Derek sneered. Sophia felt sick, but saved the 18-minute recording. The next day, Maya worked through the morning unaware of the setup. At 1:55 p.m., she left her bag at her desk for a department meeting. Derek waited 7 minutes, then slipped a laptop, tablet, and headphones into her bag. Sophia watched, heart pounding. After the meeting, Derek approached with security. Maya Davis, I need to check your bag. He theatrically pulled out each item. Company property. What were you thinking? Maya protested firmly. Those aren't mine! Derek sneered. I knew you people couldn't be trusted. Security, escort her out. She's terminated. Effective immediately. Maya stood with dignity. May I make one phone call before I leave? Just one. Derek laughed cruelly. She dialed. Dad, it's time. Tomorrow morning. Escorted out, Maya gathered her few personal items. She made eye contact with Sophia, an unspoken recognition passing between them. The department watched in silence as Maya was led away. That evening, Sophia copied her recording to a USB drive for safekeeping. Meanwhile, in Robert Johnson's penthouse, Maya recounted the harassment, the false accusation, the theft setup. It's systematic, deliberate, and cruel, she said. Robert's expression hardened. I've seen enough. Tomorrow we end this. The next morning, Robert called an emergency all-staff meeting. Derek strutted confidently, believing his fabricated evidence would secure his position. At 9 a.m., Robert entered, flanked by security. Something deeply disturbing has come to my attention, he began. Derek interrupted, seizing the chance to present his case. He displayed the devices planted in Maya's bag, recommending stricter background checks for certain applicants. Robert listened. Then, "Where is this employee now? I'd like to hear their side of the story." Derek smirked.
"I had her removed immediately."
"She was a security threat." Robert turned to security. "Please bring in our special guest." The doors opened. Maya Johnson entered in an executive suit, walking with authority. Gasps erupted. Derek's expression collapsed from smug certainty to horror. Robert placed his hand on her shoulder. "I'd like to introduce my daughter, Maya Johnson, your new CEO." Maya spoke steadily. "I came in as Maya Davis to understand this company from the ground up. What I found was a culture of harassment, discrimination, and abuse encouraged by management." From the back, Sophia stood. "It's true. I have proof." She played the recording of Derek and Heather plotting to frame Maya. Derek lunged at Sophia, restrained by security. James, the graphic designer, rose next. "For 5 years, I've watched you target every person of color. I stayed silent, afraid for my job. I won't be silent anymore." He described years of discrimination. Maya then revealed video footage secretly recorded with legal approval. Heather's coffee sabotage, Derek's slap, the planted theft. The room watched in horrified silence. Derek and Heather's excuses, team building, testing resilience, fell flat. Maya declared, "Derek Wilson, Heather Davis, you're fired, effective immediately." Sarah from HR began their termination paperwork. Derek shouted about suing. Maya replied calmly, "By all means. A jury will love our video evidence." Security escorted them out. As Derek and Heather were removed, Maya addressed the employees. "What you've witnessed today is unacceptable. It stops now. Johnson Industries was founded on excellence, innovation, and integrity. Somewhere along the way, we lost sight of integrity. As your new CEO, my first priority is restoring a culture of respect and equal opportunity. Discrimination of any kind will not be tolerated." The room erupted in applause, spreading until the entire assembly was standing. 1 week later, employees gathered again in the conference center. The atmosphere was transformed, optimism replacing fear. The official announcement of Maya Johnson as CEO had made headlines. Some reports focused on the sensational undercover operation, but most praised her direct action against discrimination. The company's stock rebounded as investors supported her vision. Maya, no longer the mistreated new hire, stood at the podium in command. "1 week ago, many of you witnessed the uncomfortable truth about our culture. Today marks the beginning of a new chapter for Johnson Industries." She outlined specific changes. A comprehensive anti-discrimination training program, mandatory for every employee, with ongoing refreshers. A new anonymous reporting system run by an independent ethics firm, ensuring no retaliation. Revised hiring processes requiring diverse interview panels, performance review reforms to eliminate bias, and a salary audit to address pay disparities. These changes aren't optional, Maya emphasized. They represent the minimum standard for how we operate moving forward. Employees who once kept their heads down now sat straighter. Those complicit in the toxic culture shifted uneasily, realizing the old order was over. Maya announced organizational changes. "James Williams, please join me on stage." James, the graphic designer who had spoken up, walked forward nervously. James has shown exceptional creative vision and leadership, yet was repeatedly passed over. Effective immediately, James is our new creative director. The room cheered as James shook her hand, emotion flooding his face. "Sophia Ramirez, please join us," Maya continued. Sophia, the young copywriter who had risked everything by recording Derek and Heather, stepped forward. Sophia demonstrated exceptional courage. "Today I'm announcing our new employee advocacy program with Sophia as its inaugural director." Applause thundered again. Maya also addressed the legal aftermath. "Many have asked about lawsuits from our former employees. Let me be clear, our evidence is overwhelming. Our legal team is prepared. More importantly, we're supporting victims with counseling and, where appropriate, compensation." The formal presentation ended, but Maya stepped away from the podium to speak directly. Later that evening, she sat in her father's old office, now hers. Robert looked at her with pride and contemplation. "You did well today," he said. "Better than I could have." I always knew you were ready. What I didn't realize was how badly the company needed you, not just your business acumen, but your perspective. He admitted he had focused on numbers, growth, innovation, missing the toxic culture growing beneath. We're fixing it now together, Maya said. Sometimes you have to experience the problem to truly solve it. What happened to me was terrible, but it opened my eyes to what others have endured. 1 month later, Maya walked through the transformed marketing department. The physical space was the same, but the atmosphere had shifted. Where tension and fear once reigned, there was now collaboration and energy. James led a diverse creative team, bringing in new hires from underrepresented backgrounds. Sophia's advocacy program had already handled dozens of concerns, resolving them before they escalated. Most importantly, the employees themselves had changed. Those who had been silent bystanders now spoke up. Those once targeted now had pathways to address discrimination without fear. Those unwilling to adapt largely left on their own. Maya stopped at the desk where she had once sat as Maya Davis in the cramped corner by the restrooms. It had been transformed into a comfortable break area with a sign. Never forget where we came from, or how far we still have to go. As she toured the department, her voice carried over footage of the transformed workplace. My experience going undercover changed more than just this company. It changed me. I thought I understood leadership from my education, my training, my successes. But experiencing discrimination firsthand taught me what no business school ever could. True leadership isn't just about vision, strategy, or financial results. It's about creating environments where everyone can contribute without fear or limits. It's about recognizing that talent exists in all kinds of people from all backgrounds. Most importantly, I learned that changing a toxic culture requires more than removing offenders. It requires sustained commitment, concrete policies, and courage to keep having uncomfortable conversations. At Johnson Industries today, we're not perfect. We're still learning, growing, and working to be better. But we're doing it together, with honesty and accountability.